Hello survivors, this is Kindred at Gaming Central, and in this video I will show you where to find a tent, how to pitch a tent, and we'll take a shot at a bandit too. Stay tuned. One of the best places to look for a tent is in a supermarket. I'm saying one of the best places, but still the chance that you will find a tent is fairly low. So some patience is required in this regard. I think I've been to about 12 or 13 supermarkets before I found the first tent, so it could take a while to get it, but it is worth the effort and it's worth the time invested into that. What I did while there were a lot of people on the server is I searched the supermarkets in the less frequently visited towns, like the first one, that was in Polana. This one here is in Zelenogorsk, and this last one is in Pustoshka, and there's a tent right there. My efforts were rewarded at last. Like I said, it took a while, but having a tent is necessary. You can store your gear in a car as well, but cars get stolen while you're offline, and you could crash your car or get killed while you're driving it. Tents are much easier to hide than most cars. And if you hide it properly, then there is a good chance that your tent will stay there undisturbed for as long as you stay on the server. I've had a few tents like that. Now there's another way how to find a packed tent, and that is in a newly spawned ATV. So if you found a place where an ATV spawns, then go there and check it every now and then. You might be lucky and you might get an ATV and a tent on top of that. If you want to have a look which cities have supermarkets and which don't, just have a look at the DayZ database online map. I've included the link in the video description. Let's talk about tent placement now. This tent right here is surrounded by trees on 3 sides, so it's nearly invisible if you approach it from any other direction than the front. Obviously you don't want your tent to get spotted by other players, and hiding it in a group of trees is one of the best ways to achieve that. As for pitching a tent, what you need to do is right click on the tent in your inventory and select pitch a tent. You can rotate the tent by pressing the Q and E keys respectively. And if you move around or look around with your mouse, you can change the position of the tent while keeping the current orientation. I recommend holding down the shift button if you try to move around, as attempting to run while you're pitching a tent may interrupt the build. When choosing the spot for the tent, you might be tempted to put it as close to the tree trunk as possible, almost place it inside the tree. But try to resist this, as it will most likely result in the tent being blocked and you won't be able to access it. To check if you can access your tent, just look for the green gear sign, the same as you get when you pick up loot from the ground, like you see right now. This means that if I place the tent in the current position, I will be able to access it. To finish the build and place the tent in the current position, just scroll your mouse and select complete build. Once your tent has been pitched, the best thing to do is have a look around and see if it really is hidden as well as you had hoped. If you're not happy with the tent placement, you can approach the tent, scroll your mouse and select packed tent. This will pack the tent back into its starting position. But be careful here, because you may be able to access the tent once it has been pitched. But if you decide to pack the tent, it might be covered by the tree branches and you might not be able to get it back. I'm not entirely happy with the current placement. I think the tent is way too visible from one direction. So I'm going to pack it. Like so. And it seems that it's very close to that tree. So let's have a look if I can get it back. I should be able to pick it up the same way as I did when I first found the tent in the supermarket. But it's not happening. It's not there. Yep, so it looks like I've lost this tent. So when you place yours, be careful and think twice before you pitch your tent. This is a place I discovered later. I spotted a tent in the middle of this group of trees and I tried to access it. It seems like a great place to place a tent. It is hidden from nearly all the sides, but there is no access point. So this tent is lost, and whoever put it there was not able to place anything inside the tent. There are a few more things to consider when you're placing your tent, such as the terrain features. Placing a tent on top of a hill may be beneficial, because nobody from the valley below will be able to see it. A good idea is to avoid any areas that are close to major towns or villages, as there tends to be a lot of traffic and someone may discover your tent by accident. When choosing the right spot, what you can do is stand in the place you want to use and look around, and whatever you can see are the places from which your tent will be visible. Another thing to consider is that some players on the server have helis, and they may be able to see your tent while they're flying past. Some of you may have noticed that I'm wearing a different backpack. That's because I died. That's right, after 24 days alive on the server, death has found me. I was shot by a bandit, and so I've declared my revenge upon bandits. And whenever I'll get the chance, I will show you a recording of me shooting a bandit, like just here. I was in the apartments in Cherno, and I heard some zombie aggro. When I looked out from the window, I saw some Zeds running into that building, so I knew there was a player inside. I didn't know who it was, so I decided to watch the entrance and the roof in case I could spot them. And then I saw a bandit climbing on the roof. Silly bandit. You don't stick your head out like that in Cherno. And that was the end of him. One shot from this Lee Enfield that I found shortly after I spawned, and he was done. Now, shooting a Lee Enfield in Cherno is not a great idea. This gun is not called Dinner Bell for nothing. I had about 30 Zs to deal with right after that, but that's a different story. Right guys, you know what to do now. If this video helped you in any way, then a like is always appreciated. And if you like the series and would like to see more, then please subscribe. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time. Bye!